Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Max from GrowingGreat. Welcome to my kitchen today. I really appreciate you all joining me because today we're going to be doing something pretty fun, which is dissecting a seed. Now seeds are really important to us because they offer a lot of nutritional benefits to us, and whether they're chia seeds or flax seeds, there's a whole bunch that you can try to get in your diet and help you have a long and healthy life. This is a pretty fun activity because there's not too many things you need, and it's pretty interesting what actually is going on inside a seed before it grows. So I'm going to be using dried lima beans today, which you can definitely find at your grocery store. These are seeds, but dried seeds that we later cook and then eat. So with that much being said, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to need today to dissect our seeds. So our materials list isn't too long this week. All we're going to need are a few seeds. I chose lima beans because these large ones give us a little bit more room to look around, and I'm personally curious to see how they do in the water. We're going to need a magnifying glass for our observation stage of our experiment. Going to need a few toothpicks to be our surgical tools today, as well as a few colored pencils so we can draw our diagram and observations at the end, and a piece of paper to draw our pictures on. You're going to need a little bit of water also to soak our seeds because we're going to go ahead and put them in the water for no less than 24 hours. Now, I've never had seeds just sit in water that long, and I'm pretty curious to see what happens. So, we want to get our experiment started. Let's go ahead and drop these in some water. Before we get our seeds soaking, I also thought it might be interesting to compare our lima beans after they've been soaked in water to, say, some corn that already comes in water. So we can take it out of the can, dissect some of this, and compare the two. All right, so we got our water. Let's go ahead and drop them on in. Now we want to have some dry seeds to compare these two, but we're not going to be able to really do much to those with the toothpicks, as I'm sure you will see. All right, guys, well, we'll check in a couple hours, see how they're doing. So let's go ahead and decan our corn to join our soaked lima beans and see what we got. There we go. Now we'll just drain this and take out a few kernels and open them on up. All right, so we got our paper towel all laid down. Now let's go ahead and see how our seeds are doing. Wow, so right off the bat, we can already see how some of the seeds, numerous in fact, just shed their outermost skin right from the start. And I think that did the job for us because I think we were going to want to peel these away anyway so that we could get to see what's on the inside. So a couple of these still have their sheath loosely on there. See how it just comes right off? We'll just go ahead and peel off that layer from our seeds. Nice and easy, and we get to what's inside. Oh yeah, see how it just peels away almost like wet paper, revealing our things on the inside. And there we see our first little embryo right there. All right, now let's go a little more in depth with this one right here. Let's see what this lima bean has. So we're going to use our toothpick to gently try and start peeling away the outside layer. Once we get it started, we should be able to pull most of it off ourselves. Little by little, we want to be gentle with our seeds. And there we go. And this one, we can actually even see the embryo, how far out that has already gotten from the rest of the seed. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So now, let's see, we'll just carefully split it open. And look at that. See how smooth the rest of the seed is on the inside? And that is such a large embryo. My goodness. So that is the part that's actually going to turn into our plant when we plant it into soil and it starts to grow from that embryo. And the rest of the smooth part inside the seed is what we refer to as the cotyledon. And what that does is pretty much that's going to be the undeveloped part at this stage that will eventually turn into the leaves from our plant. Pretty cool, right? So picking up our corn, if we hold that under the magnifying glass, looks like we see that little air pocket, which is inside the embryo, and then I think that kind of mass part in the middle of my thumb is probably going to be our cotyledon. So it looks a bit different than our lima beans. Now let's go ahead and sketch what we saw. So we have our corn, and we'll draw our lima bean on this side. Start with our first bean half, and then our second bean half. And then we have embryo coming off of it, and then that would leave this, and this as our cotyledon. So these cotyledons, as we mentioned, are what are going to turn into the leaves of a seed-bearing plant. And these are usually the first things that are shown when a seed starts to germinate. Plants with 2 embryonic leaves are termed dicots, and seeds with only 1 cotyledon are called monocots, such as corn as opposed to the lima beans we're using today. Usually when a seed fails to germinate, it is due to poor environmental conditions such as too low or too high temperatures, or we can be watering them too little as well as too much. But also, seeds don't last forever, so even if they are kept in proper conditions, they can be past their viability stage. Seeds such as carrots or parsnips, for example, lose their viability very fast. There we go. Our lima bean versus our corn. Well, we got our pictures for today, and thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen, and I really hope you guys found it pretty interesting what your seeds look like also. So I gotta give a big shout out to Del Monte for sponsoring Growing Great's Veggies and Fruits program, and if you're interested in many other fun activities and maybe even some delicious recipes, please visit them at delmonte.com/growinggreat. Pretty great, and we love to see you there. In addition to Del Monte's site, we also have many fun activities available straight through us, so if you're interested in that, please feel free to email us right here at megan@growinggreat.org, and we'd love to hook you up. Well, thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen, you guys. Hope to see you next time. Bye!